Hello and welcome to Late Night Creatures with me, your host, Peter DeToro. It's a beautiful Wednesday night. I'm extremely tired, which means this is going to be a good episode. For this episode, I decided to sort of take a departure from our usual, sillier drawings, because this show really does tend to err on the silly side of life. As such, sorry, just a little check of quality real quick. Alright, looks like we're in the clear. As such, I've decided to try and draw something, cool this time. Instead of something to just make you laugh, maybe something that'll make you go, hey, that's pretty cool. So I have some ideas in my head, but not many. So I think, as usual, the best thing to really do is to sort of just dive into it here. So I'm going to start off here with some angry eyes. I do a lot of angry creatures here, but that's alright. It's late at night, and people get cranky. There's a lot going on late at night that can really upset you. Those don't look good. I'll come back to the pupils later. They might not be needed. So I got some eyes. These are kind of cool. This whole episode is going to be just me checking that that the stuff that I'm doing is cool. So maybe we bring this. Yeah, that's alright. Maybe go for a classic, nice little shield type shape here. And that way, bring this down. So now we have, it's a mask. There we go. So now we have a mask. Alright, I'm going to add some stuff in here. Maybe add some level of character. Make it to where you see sort of what type of thing this mask is supposed to represent. I don't know if this is a villain or a hero, a good guy or a bad guy. Could be a morally gray character, someone who makes the decision to sort of flip sides as they go. We have a lot of options here. We really do. So from there, again, if you're new, we've had some technical difficulties the past few weeks, and I'm still a little paranoid about them. While I think they're mainly fixed, I still like to check, and I don't have a team of any sort because I'm not large enough in any capacity, and I can't pay people to check quality for me. So I have to juggle all this stuff. Anyways, back to cool drawing. Maybe we could make this look a little 3D-ish, perhaps. Bring this around here. We'll leave that for now. I might come back and just change that into just I'm actually going to change that into just a border now, because I didn't set that 3D look up very well, and so can't really do that. So that's just a nice border. I'll come back to the rest of this mask later. We gotta decide who's behind this mask. It's a big mask, so it's probably gonna be a big guy. So maybe he's a very large-headed man. Yes, a very large-headed figure. It's where the mask is really inconsequential because a lot of his face is still uncovered, and we could even sort of have the mask sort of not even really attached by way of any straps or buckles. It's just sort of pushed in there. That's a nice, kind of gross but interesting aesthetic. Looks kind of goofy, but sometimes you have to dive into the realm of goofy to get a good result on anything you're really doing. So I don't mind it. At least not right now. This is gonna be an episode where I definitely am probably gonna go back and change stuff as I go, more than usual, which I don't think I do it that often, because it's a very loose go with the flow type show. But I'm on a mission to make something exceedingly interesting this time around. So we're gonna put in that extra mile. But I do like the mask sort of being just squished into the face here. I think this is a very good. I should just go through and do all of these, and then I can erase later. Later as in like later in the episode, not later as in like when I'm finalizing the drawing, because that's a while from now. And I'd like to have a completely drawn drawing by the end of the episode. I never want to end an episode just having a sketch. I just want to be able to go in and color, essentially, when I go back to finalize it for the thumbnail. So that's all I do. As I go in, I redo the lines so they look cleaner than the original drawing, and so I can fix any glaring proportional mistakes, which I've had to a few times, and then I just color it, and that's how the thumbnails happen. If you didn't know, now you do. It's a simple existence. Truly is a simple, humbling life. Man, but people who color for a living, like when that's like their job as part of the team, whatever it is, animation or comic books or anything like that, it must be fun. I think coloring is a fun job. I think it's a very noble profession in the art world that doesn't get the type of recognition it really should. Okay, so we have, yeah, okay. I'm sort of digging. I'm going to make this sort of its own, there we go. Its own little nasally nose piece of sorts. This is looking nice and interesting. So now I'm gonna add in some pupils, since I sort of have an idea of character here. Maybe if I just add in some dark pupils, or not dark pupils, light pupils and dark eyes. Maybe then go in and add in these sort of rings, the irises that are also white. And then maybe go in again with a thinner brush and do some on the outside. Really sort of give him this like, what's the word? Piercing gaze. Yeah, that's a good looking gentleman. Alright, hair. Maybe just like so these eyes don't make sense, but that's alright. Oh, still on the white. These eyes don't make sense, but that's alright. So we can go in and maybe just give him sort of this nice flared up mohawk of sorts. Yeah. There we go. Nice. You know what? I must say that the cool goal seems to be on track right now. I don't think this is an extremely goofy drawing. I think it's nice and cool and fun-ish. Kind of looks exceedingly evil at the moment. But that's sort of what I was going for. So, you know, we'll take it for what it is. And yeah. It's just how we're going to roll. Sort of maybe add in some hairlines there. Add in some more tufts, give it a little more character. And ba-bing, ba-bam. There we have it. Is Mohawk. Let's sort of work on ears. I never draw ears on this show, but I'm going to draw ears now. Because I'm drawing basically a human at this point. This isn't even a creature. Well, I mean, he's clearly not a standard human, so it's still a creature, but he's definitely one of the most humanoid humans. Who does he look like? He looks like from an episode of Invader Zim, and it's like a suit. Oh, it's whenever Gur from Invader Zim, the robot, wears his person suit. That's what this head looks like, with the ears and everything, which is kind of silly. But again, I'm just gonna roll with it for now. And if we come with a silly drawing out of this episode, an exceedingly silly drawing, then you know what? At least we're sticking to the theme of the rest of them, so it's pretty alright. It just, we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so good. It's a good start. So now I'm gonna sort of start roughing in this, how the shape of his body's gonna be. I think he sort of has like a hunch. I think that's a good shape. I think I got that curve right off the bat, which is lucky, to say the least. And his arms come down here. I should maybe finish the torso before I add arms of any sort. Those are gonna stay for now because I don't think they're really gonna move from that spot. They might, but I don't think they will. So his belly sort of, yeah, I think he sort of is a bean type shape. So he has like this big belly, but he also slouches really bad. Perfect, kind of. There we go. That's the shape I'm looking for. So I think he's sort of he seems like he's taken the form of a type of sort of medieval knight. So he, like a big burly, I'm very sleepy. A big burly medieval knight. So he must have a weapon. I don't draw swords a lot, so bear with me here as I try and get... I have a track record of saying I don't draw this thing a lot, so it's probably not going to look too good, and then it ends up looking alright. So I'm going to try and keep that track record. But I don't draw swords a lot, so don't expect too much. I'm not really a fantasy artist by any stretch of the imagination. But you know what? I'm gonna do my best to get a nice sword shape here. That hand doesn't look the best either. So I'm gonna fix that real quick. That's nicer. That's a nicer wrist. Even bigger people have wrists. Fun facts that I need to learn. Anywho. So we there we go, add some roll there. I think maybe he has this, I wonder how long this sword should be. Pretty long. Oh, that's not how stuff works. Pretty long, I'd say. So maybe it's just like a nice big super long great sword that he's wielding with this one strong hand. Makes sense. I think it has a single edged sword here. There we go. Nice single edged sword. Maybe it has a fuller. Those of you who don't know, a fuller is an indention placed somewhere on a blade, where the metal, bends in and there's a little sort of canyon, and the fuller's job is to make the sword lighter. So that probably helps explain why I can hold it in one hand like that. Now I think we should move on to legs. And for legs, because of him, I've made a big man, which is really easy to make silly. And I'm thinking I gotta make him sort of like in a squat position for anything going on with him to make sense at this moment in time. So I'm gonna go in and sort of rough in that squat. Let's see. Can I bring back Hollow Knight? I'm trying. I might bring back some game stuff at some point, but right now, for my sanity, and because it's what I really like to do and would like to do on this platform and really any platform I migrate to, I'm trying to stick with the drawing and the animating for now. But who knows? Maybe around Halloween or Christmas, I might do some of those games because those types of games are usually very fun. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do like Hollow Knight a lot, and I still need to finish it. So maybe. But I wouldn't get your hopes too high. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, he's got to be squatting because he's a very big man in a very awkward position. So so I got to give him a nice big squat. And he has these wonderful knee pads that help him in battle, I'd assume. They also have that sort of, that's not how proportion works, or perspective. They also have the same sort of similar thing that that mouthpiece of his mask has. I think maybe we should do that whole thing. Yeah, thanks for understanding, man. I forget who it was, but one of my friends, who I assume you're friends with, too, had told me that you asked about that. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Where would that other leg go? It would not go where I started drawing it. Sorry, I'm interacting with the person who's been with this channel for a while. Clearly. So now we bring in. I think that's right. Does that look right? I cannot tell. My drawing eyes ain't working too well in the late hours of the day. I'll tell you that much. So we're just gonna assume that that's right, and I can go back later and be like, oh, was not right in the slightest. So we have same thing here. These come around. Yeah, and I don't know if I want to do a strap around the backs of these. I don't think so. I think he's kind of sweaty. Or maybe he actually is sort of just a. Well, no, it's probably the. Oh, okay, I see. It's probably a similar deal to the the mask, where they're sort of pushed in to his body here. I don't know what this guy's name is. I feel like it should have something to do with the fact that armor can just sort of work its way into his body. But I'm not sure what a good name for that would be. Something medieval. What's a good medieval name? I'm good at making up medieval names, believe it or not. I'm not good with names on this show historically, but when it comes to medieval names, I'm usually good because I play a lot of tabletop RPGs. Well, I play one, but I play it often. And by the way, if you're ever considering getting into tabletop RPGs, I'd recommend going to Pathfinder before you go to D&D, because it's a simpler system and it's better for new players, in my personal opinion. But we can talk more about that later in life, if I ever decide to do something with any tabletop RPG on this channel whatsoever. Anywho, so here's our guy. Yeah, I must say, he's got a bit of a silly aspect to him, but in the long run of things, I'm about to give him a vest, and that might stop what I'm about to say from being true. But I think for the most part, this is a pretty cool guy. He looks pretty cool. I like his design a lot. I don't know what's going on with his other arm, but I'll deal with that later. So that, and there we have his this nice vest. Using a lot of, I'm actually using quite a bit of, I'm not using any colors, but like this is the most shading of any kind I think I've done with the color black in the show before. I should give him pants too because he's extremely humanoid and people might wonder about that. The pants is in like, you know, undies. Warrior undies, sort of like Conan, not Conan. Yeah, it is Conan. Conan the Barbarian, like fur undies. Need to make sure that's all visible there. Yep, alright. And then then I gotta deal with this other arm, which I actually did have an idea about, but I forgot about it until, oops, it's still on the white. I forgot about it until just now when I remembered it on live. I thought he has his arm out like this, clenched into a how many fingers did he have? Did he have 4? Yeah, he had well 5. Clenched into a, that's not how fists work. Clenched into a very tight fist here, and within the fist we sort of just have stretched out a nice this is also going to make it maybe a little more silly, but also, you know, I need to stop worrying too much about it because overall I think it's a cool drawing. But this is just going to be a nice simple shape. I'm not going to deal with details. I'm actually, for once, I'm running short on time and I'm not having to try and pad the drawing time with something, with talking. This has been a very draw-heavy episode, I must say. I don't think I've really stopped once. And man, actually, you know what? I must say, if I'm being fully honest with myself, that he looks pretty dang cool. And I will happily agree to that notion if anyone said it, aside from me. I'm very sleepy. I think I've said that multiple times, but you know what? This is a very tired late night creatures. And those are gonna happen. So yeah, his eyes are bugging out. And wow, it's just like that one scene from the movie that I don't know if it's alright to spoil yet. And so I'm just not gonna say anything about it. Tell me in the comments below if it's alright to spoil the recent superhero flick that this would remind someone of. Because I think it's been long enough, personally, but, you know, people have different ideas on that type of stuff. Some people think there's no grace period and you should never spoil it, and other people think that, yeah, no, you should wait at least a little bit. Me personally, I think it doesn't matter. You know, I think that sometimes you can do sometimes you can spoil stuff. I think that the spoiler really does depend oftentimes on what part you're spoiling. Because if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. There are people who are like, no, everything matters in a movie. And I'm like, you're right, but also, no. Everything matters, but not everything's important. That's the way I look at it. And so it's alright to spoil some things, just not everything. Alright. I'm gonna add a belly button to make this a clearer belly. It's a nice little, I don't know why I did what I did there. Yeah, a belly button, and, cool. Well, with this shortage of time, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. I'm going to go ahead and start putting in some shading. My favorite part of any late night creatures, which is odd, but like I said, hey, people who color for a living must have a great job. It's coloring really is a satisfying, and according to studies, which is why there are all those books out now, very stress relieving. So I bet they don't have too stressful of a job because they're constantly doing something that's supposed to de-stress humans. I mean, I guess maybe it could get a little boring because if you're doing it for like comic books, there's not much variation, especially if it's like your job's to color Iron Man. So here are your reds and your yellows, and good luck. Those, these are all the colors you get because he shouldn't be anything other than these colors. People could argue that no, Iron Man could be every color, but I'm like, but here's the thing: is that yes, he has suits that are in different colors, but he never wears them. He always is wearing a gold one, a red and gold one. I want to see an Iron Man movie where he wears like just like this bright green suit for the whole movie. He's never out of it for any human connection moments, never once. He's in the suit whole time, and that's the thing. That's the premise of the movie, is that the green suit is the suit that has a mind of its own. It actually traps Toby Stark. Toby Stark. That's his new name. It actually traps Starko in there, and so he can't see his wife, Pepper Potts. That's her name, right? So he can't see his beautiful wife. All right. Cool. So, yeah. I must say that I think that we've accomplished our goal of drawing something cool. This is our cool man, Ravato the Squish. That's his name. Actually, I gotta draw the name because that's also a thing that I do all the time, is write the name. So we have Ravato the Squish. I'm not going to name the little man he's strangling. His name's Stranglington. So you can just remember that. Keep it in your mind palace. That's his name. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me on this sort of departure from our norm here at Late Night Creatures. I hope you haven't worn yourself out watching this, because I know I've worn myself out doing it. So on that note, I'd like to wish you all a great late night, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.